100% Crazyness, a Datura trip report from Erowid posted by user Jim Sun. Published on July 18, 2001. Gender, male. Body weight, 7 kilograms. Age at the time of experience, not given. This is a true story. The craziest trip ever starts off in a rural area of Amish country at my buddy's house. A few of my friends have come upon a new drug that seemed to be cool. This drug, Jimson weed, was a small black seed that had a taste almost like nuts or a sunflower seed. Many of my friends had been dabbling with this drug now for a few weeks, taking a few pinches and then teaspoons trying to experience a trip-type deal. When the cash flow was limited and a good friend Brent and I had nothing better to do one night, we decided to dance with the devil. We ate probably 5 to 7 full spoonfuls, I'm not quite sure. It was a decent amount. Once I left his home when we were walking towards Brent's car, we both looked at each other in disbelief because we saw a bunch of little schoolgirls running across the street all in little white and blue skirts with blonde pigtails. Then on the ride, we started to loose our cigarettes and lighters. Where we thought we were, most of the times you never even had a cig. All hallucinations. Once this happened, the rest of the night is pretty much a blur. We went to my house where we came upon 3 of our friends outside my basement door leading to my room. Our one friend was so drunk he had the other 2 carrying him with his feet dragging behind him. This kid was an alcoholic who could handle his shit. I was real messed up and didn't want to deal with a drunk kid who was puking, so I told them to leave and go back to his house. Upon leaving, the 2 kids got in a high-speed police chase for 45 men, and my friend would have got away, but his Mustang ran out of gas. Adds to the craziness of story. The next morning, I woke up and Brent was gone. My mouth had a layer of crust around it from the dehydration. Basically, I had to scrub my face and peel it off my lips. A few men later, a local police officer was knocking at my front door. He came into my room with my parents asking what my friend Brent had taken. I claimed to know nothing. The cop told me that Brent was walking a block away with no pants or shoes at 6 in the morning. When the cop tried to talk to him, he couldn't communicate. Somehow Brent told the police where he lived or something. Then they took him to the emergency room to get the shit out of him. After the police officer left, he went out to Brent's car to find a baggie with about 2 Oz of these dried seeds. They didn't do anything about because they are not illegal. In Brent's pants was an 1/8 of weed and a wallet, and to this day it has not been found. When the police was at my house, I somehow sobered up to the point where I could communicate, but after that it was all over. I tripped for possibly 24 more hours. I went upstairs to talk to my parents about what happened during a meaningless conversation with them. I tried to convince them I wasn't indeed under the influence of anything I ended up trying to prove to them. I wasn't messed up, so I proceeded to write them. Ingredients down from the back of the ice cream container, but when I wrote the ingredients down, they made no ooze sense. Whatsoever my writhing was random lines, circles, and scribbles. I tried to convince my parents that those were indeed the ingredients, which they were not at all even close to words. When talking, you thought you knew exactly what you were saying, but when you spoke, it was all jumbled words that meant nothing. My parents knew something was wrong. They moved me to a bedroom to rest. I sat in this room and hallucinated for quite some time. I was wrapped in an orange blanket on a bed, looking at a ceiling fan. Then my friend Ben was hanging off the ceiling fan. Then he proceeded to run and play hide and go seek. With me in my house then, I would hear voices of friends saying, "Are they oxen free?" The age-old hide-and-seek phrase after this happened, I ran around my whole house looking for these friends. I thought that they were all hiding in the closets. It looked as if I could see them in the clothing and also hanging on the hangers, and then they would disappear. I would move the clothes yelling, "Come out." I thought this was a big game. All and everyone was against me. After this, I think I went back to the bedroom and sat in the blanket I decided to eat, or I thought that I was eating. I had a plate and utensils on my lap, and whenever I would look up, something would disappear until I had nothing and I was throwing the blanket in the air out of disbelief looking. for the fork and meal that I just had. Then sometime my girlfriend came over. She really didn't, and I had long conversations with her, and I walked her out to wait for her mom. I was sitting on my front porch thinking that I was kissing my girl with my arms around her. I went back inside to my room in the basement. I looked up at the ceiling, and bugs just started to fall everywhere I tried to jump on. A lot of them. They would disappear and friends would appear. The hide and seek game continued in the basement. Then I went outside the basement to find Kurt now hiding. In the rocks, this was upsetting that all my friends were hiding from me because from afar I could see them then. Once I got close, everyone would mold into the surroundings. I sat on my couch when one of the pillows turned into some Komodo dragon-looking thing, exactly like the ones in Fear and Loathing Las Vegas. I didn't see the movie until after this experience, but the dragon started licking me with its tongue. It was scaring me quite a bit, so I ran upstairs at this point in time. My dad had called one of my friends, Kurt, to come and calm me down. Because I was running all over the house looking for him, this initiated a little bit of a reality check for me because I just got done looking for this kid outside. My house and some rocks. A few hours after Kurt had left, I was almost sober, and I was just wondering what the hell happened. Because the whole time I was on this, I didn't even know I was on it. You forget that you even took anything. It's really weird. For 2 days, I was still not right. I couldn't read one word of anything. All writing was completely blurry. That afternoon, I meet up with Brent by coincidence at the school parking lot. He told me the horrors at the hospital while entirely out of his gourd. All of the above things looked, felt, and tasted real. I would not consider this a trip. I think it should be called modified reality, because everything is so real it's scary. Every little detail, your brain tricks you into believing it's real. Yet it's all hallucination, please, from first-hand knowledge. This stuff is no joke. You are a threat to yourself when on this. I don't recommend the use of it. I won't do it again, but it is crazy to see what the mind can do.